of the Rotarian. Whoops, got it. We're being recorded. That's fine. Fellows of Fellowship of the Rotarian Educators, welcome. So let's talk about what does fuel the fire of lifelong learning, and actually, let's talk about what that really is. I became interested in that about 2-3 years ago when in a group, several people called myself and a few others lifelong learners. And I was very surprised because I never thought of myself as a lifelong learner. I mean, I didn't even know what that was. So I decided to find out and make what will become a keynote speech of an hour or a little bit longer. Here's what I first found out, and it's pretty exciting. The first thing I found out was 2 articles. The first one was all about destiny and inspiration. And I thought, well, that's interesting because we all have destiny. Whatever culture we grow up in, we have our family going back 3 or 4 generations that fill our cup full of all the rules and regulations that we are expected to follow. And most of us really try very hard to do that. I certainly did. But inspiration is something else. So I looked it up. And inspiration has lots of things that have nothing to do with book learning. The second article I came across, if you could put that screen up
Yes,
with
I'll do
Albert
that.
Schweitzer, was an article about Albert Schweitzer, who was connected to lifelong learning. And that was a puzzlement. It was a puzzlement because I never thought of him as a lifelong learner or myself. And I was pleased to see he's a boomer like myself. I'm not quite as old as he is. He died in 1965 at the age of 90 and a half. But take a look at all the things this man accomplished. Now, did he go to school? You bet he did. In fact, one of my random thoughts was he probably was in school at the age of 90 learning something brand new. I don't think he was in school at 90. But to get the Nobel Peace Prize, to be a physician, to be an organist and a musicologist and to know everything about music, to earn one prize after another, amazing. It's just amazing. Lots of knowledge in his head, lots of book work. So let's hang on to the fact that the reality is there are things we have to put into our head that are factual, written in books. But I don't think that's a lifelong learning end of it. I think it's just a part of the process of something else that makes up lifelong learning that you add to the book learning. It was the bottom of this article about Albert Schweitzer that explained to me why he was connected to lifelong learning. Sometimes, he says, the light goes out, but it is blown again into instant flame by an encounter with another human being. And immediately my eyes filled with tears and I was thrown back to me in 7th grade. I was a scrawny little kid, poor side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My clothes were mostly old. They were clean and ironed, but my skirt never hung straight because we had to wear skirts back in those days. My socks hung below my shoes. I never smiled, and I very seldom ever talked in school. Now I'm in 7th grade, and I was bullied mercilessly, picked on, even by adults who criticized me because when they saw my mouth, they knew something I can just share with you. I won the battle with my mother to not brush my teeth during 5th and 6th grade. But I lost the battle with my teeth. And when I smiled, these front teeth had great big cavities. I looked like a mess. It wasn't pretty. Halfway through 7th grade, The principal entered the room and said, "You have a new teacher," she said to the classroom, "who will be with you for the rest of the year." And in walked this man. It was a man teacher. We didn't have too many men teachers back then. And with him was another man who was a student teacher. Two men teachers in that room. It was like almost frightening. But something wonderful happened that last half a year of 7th grade. I'm 12 years old, and these two men, here's my vision. They're standing next to me in front of their desk. All three of us are standing, and they're always looking down, and they're explaining things to me, and they're talking to me, and they're treating me like I wasn't ugly or stupid or ragtag. I was smart and I could learn things and I was valuable. So I don't remember a thing that I put into my head in 7th grade, not a darn thing. But I do remember how I was treated by these two teachers. These teachers changed my life. They literally turned me around. They turned on the flame for me. Well, you can't turn somebody else's flame on if it's gone out. I could tell you that. But certain people, these two, many encounters with two wonderful men in 7th grade, two wonderful teachers. You know what? They handed me one candle after another with their words and their behavior. And I decided by the end of the 7th grade to light my candle. And today, I have to say my candle is lit and I was almost out permanently. And there's many of us here today and many students that you may teach, or your children or your grandkids or your aunts and uncles, the people in your family, the friends that you know, who at one time in their life, the light went out. And an encounter with other human beings changed all of that. That's inspiration. I was inspired to think of myself as not ugly, to think of myself as smart, intelligent, and that even if I was a girl, I could do whatever I wanted to do. I came out of 7th grade, went to my mother and said, "Take me to the dentist," and I got my teeth fixed. And from then on, most of the time, my light was on. So they taught me how to handle that verbal candle to somebody else. They taught me that learning could be fun, that it was like very interesting, and I could do anything I wanted. And so here I am today. So let's take that second screen and let's talk about those of us who may be a little bit older and say, "Oh, it's too late for me. I'm too old." Well, let me tell you, I'm no spring chicken. And I'm still going better than I've ever done before. For those of you who are very young and you think, "Well, I don't have to think ahead of time." Oh, yes, you do. If you think you're too old or too young, oh, think about that again. Here's what lifelong learners actually do. Now, it's not all just filling your head with information. It's what you do with that information. They seek out new opportunities and they're curious about things and they're open to new perspectives. Look at me, fancy phone into the 21st century. When I grew up, the only phone in my house, you had a crank and you picked up the speaker and a woman answered. She was like the receptionist for the 7 towns around me. And she would say, "Joanne, what do you want?" Because she knew me by name. And I say, "I want to talk to my Aunt Irene." And she said, "Joanne, it's too early in the morning to talk to your Aunt Irene. Did your mother give you permission to make this phone call?" But today, here we are from all places different in the world, connected. We love us lifetime learners. We make progress. We love making progress. We don't give up. So if you believe that it's too late, forget it. It's never too late. I'm here to tell you it's never too late. Let's go to that next slide. It says destiny and inspiration. Okay, I had lots of destiny, and so did you. I was a girl born in the boomer age in America. I was expected to do my chores, keep my mouth shut, not talk too much, obey my mother, certainly obey my father, take care of any other little kids. I was expected to keep my mouth shut. I was expected to learn how to cook. I was expected to grow up, get married, and never get divorced. I was expected to have at least 2 children. I was expected to make my mother and father grandparents. Now, I did some of that, but most of it I was really bad at. I'm still bad at cooking. I don't have a nodule in my head that says, you're a good cook. I can cook, but it's not my thing. I did get married, and it was really, really hard to get a divorce because the rules were, my destiny was to stay with the same man forever. So our families back generations give us the format to follow, and I did my very best, and I failed at a lot of it. But today I have a little bit of a different format. I'm a little more open. I'm a little more brave. I'm a little more risk-taking. So let's talk about what Forbes did. Thank you, Forbes. They did the research for me. What goes into inspiration? Now I know now how much those 2 teachers in school inspired me, but I was too young to think about the big word inspiration. Here's what inspires other people, and I think you all probably have a bunch of it. You have a lot of courage. 20 years ago, I gave up a 35-year-old profession I was very good at. I made a lot of money. I supported myself and my child, and I walked away from it in 3 weeks' time, cold turkey. In fact, 3 weeks later, I thought, wait a second, I have to do something to earn a living. Did I think about that ahead of time? No, bad planning. Well, I did all of that 20 years ago. People who inspire others have a deep empathy. Those 2 teachers empathized with me. Now, I didn't know that when I was very young, but I know now. They did that openly in front of other students. Nobody ever bullied me after they took me over. They fostered equality, but they didn't think of me as a girl that shouldn't go to school and get good grades and do whatever I wanted. They didn't do that to me. They told me I was smart. Not that they said those words, but they treated me that way. Lifelong learners believe in the collective power, which is why I love group dynamics so much. So let me tell you a story about a very small village in the middle of nowhere, Africa. And National Geographic sent a photographer in with one of those great big cameras. And those little kids in the village, they were just fascinated. So he's sitting there one day on a big rock with the kids in front of him, dressed in nothing but loincloths, naked the rest of them, bare feet. And he said, hey, he said, how about we play a game? You guys stand up, and over there is a basket. It's full of fruit. And if everybody runs really fast, the fastest one wins the basket. The fastest one gets to the basket first and wins. And you know what those kids did? Those kids stood up and they clasped each other's hand, and they walked, not ran, to the basket. The photographer was completely astonished. He said, why didn't you guys run for the basket? So you could win the fruit. And the littlest one said the one word in his language that represented this idea. Why can I be happy and have fun if everyone else is miserable? Fellow educators everywhere. That's the collective. Look at us in the screen. Look away from me. Shilpa, show us all. Take that screen away and show us all.
Okay.
Let us see each other, every single one of us. Okay, there's 11 of us here. Take a look at the screen. For those of you who are not in person, take a look at their names. For those of you who are not in person, but you're seeing everybody, look at us. We are a collective. We are the inspiration for every person we come into contact with. So here's my example. Shilpa's my example. Shilpa, I just asked for help. I mean, lifelong learners ask for help when they need it, and I needed help with the electronics. I asked her if she could put my presentation on slides, and she said yes. She was very helpful. She even added my picture. Shilpa, I don't know where you got the picture from, because that's an old picture. But you got the picture.
WhatsApp.
That's great. And she added at the end, the final slide, which she will show you in case you want to reach me. And she added my picture again. And I said to her, I was amazed that she was so helpful and with such good happiness in her voice to help me. And I said, you're wonderful. Thank you so much. I think it's terrific what you did. Fantastic job with my slides. And she told me she accepted that verbal candle I gave her. And I know she lit that candle because I can't light anyone else's candle. I can only handle them. I can hand them the candle, but I can't light it for them. They have to light it for themselves. And I know she lit it. You know how? She said, I am so passionate about education. I really like your unique idea about inspiration and lifelong learning. Not only that, I sent out your information to people that may not be educators. That was her lighting the candle. That's how Shilpa is. She will do a great job. She will go above and beyond like she did with me. Like those two teachers did with me, that little kid in 7th grade whose light was out. So my light is on. Shilpa, your light is on, definitely. And I hope the rest of you, I hope that you believe your light is on. Because if you're an educator, a mom, a parent, a grandparent, an auntie or an uncle, you are an educator. Pass forward to everyone you see that the words that are this wonderful candle, and encourage them to light it like I was encouraged. And now I'll take questions if anyone has questions. You can put up that last screen, Shilpa.
If anyone has got any questions, please put your questions in the chat box, or you can just directly raise your hand or unmute yourself, and you can ask directly your questions to Dr. Jo.
Sure, raise your hand. It's good.
You're welcome.
Last one, that's right.
If you want to contact Jo, you can take a snapshot of this and you can contact her. And if you have any questions, please ask the questions in the chat box.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, dear.
Ma'am, I don't want to ask any question, but I would like to say one thing. What ma'am told about destiny and inspiration. It was very nice to hear about that. And I would like to say this, that Shilpagauri Ganpule ma'am is one of the inspiration that we all are here together. And even Dr. Jo ma'am, you are an inspiration for us from today, because the way you have told us, narrated your life incidents, it's really very encouraging. All those who are there here, present now in this meeting, they are lifelong learners. In short, I just want to say, what is the thing? The words are not coming, but all those who are present in this meeting, they are in a way related to one another. Like, no? So in short, the words are falling short to me, but whatever you related, it's like an inspiration for all the ladies, those who are here. And we all are lifelong learners, since we are involved in so many things. And Shilpa ma'am is just keeping us engaged and involved in so many project related thing and so many conferences. So we are all the time upgrading our knowledge. So we would like to thank ma'am, even Dr. Jo ma'am also for that. So this is what I wanted to say. Thank you, ma'am, so much.
Well, thank you. I appreciated hearing that very much. And there is a question in the chat box, how to keep yourself inspired while facing the odds in your life. From Shirin. Shirin, did I get that right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. What a good question. And let me get rid of the question. Here's my response to that. I don't know anybody that doesn't have big odds from time to time. I certainly have had my share. Here's what I've done. I have learned over the years, and actually it's decades, to pick people to be with that I can trust, so that I can share my doubts, so that I can ask for help, so that I can become a reciprocal person with somebody else. If Shilpa ever needs me, I will help. And I only know that because I've only known her 2 days. I mean, 2 days. I don't know anything about her personal background. I only know one thing about that beautiful little elephant that appears on WhatsApp, that pretty little elephant that she explained was I believe goddess. Am I correct? Goddess or God? Which one?
God.
God.
It's God.
Of education. And I thought, wow, how cool is that? How cool is that? So I get inspired on a daily basis, and I work my day out so that I get professional time, family time, and personal time. And sometimes I have to eliminate one or the other because I fell short the day before. So for me, blending the triad of family, personal, and business is all critical and important. And by the way, I've learned to say no. I've learned to say no. I got a call late in the evening 2 nights ago from a very dear friend. And if I could, I would have dropped what I was doing to help her out, because she said, can you help me out the next day? And I could not. I was booked solid because I have my own responsibilities. And I told her, I'm so sorry, I cannot do it, because you're one of the few people I would drop everything for. I'm sure you'll find somebody to help you. And she did. It happened to be a woman. But I have a few men friends that I could call them up and I would say, can you do this for me? And they would say, oh, yes. So ask for help, learn to say no, and really get your life in better balance with work and with family and with your own personal life. Sometimes that's hard to do, but if you work at it every day, you'll get better and better at it. I hope that helps.
Actually, Jo, Viji Sathia, she has also asked a similar question, and actually you answered her question just now. She's also asking, what should one do to avoid to keep ourselves positive? So actually, you have just answered the question, how to be positive. Yes, Vijay has also written that yes, she has got the answer. So she just asked you how to be positive.
How to be positive.
And you just answered the same question. So
that takes a lifelong, by the way. You know, you have to work at it every day. You can choose to be angry, upset, miserable, ticked off, wanting to fight, combative, usually verbally, or you can choose to be happy. And that means sometimes you turn away from people that want to always have a quest. See, I don't think it's destiny's the winner and inspiration's the runner-up, or inspiration's the winner and destiny's the runner-up. I think they're compatible. They work together. I see this in the chat. Not all people are generous in this mechanized world to help others. Seeing all these these pessimistic world, what should one avoid to keep ourselves positive? You avoid every negative person that you come across. Sorry, I don't have time in my life because I'm older. I don't have time anymore for negativity. I literally walked away from 4 or 5 different people and from quite a few family members because of the negativity, the pessimism, the wanting to always like fight, always wanting to have a verbal fisticuffs, verbal fisticuffs. No, I can't do it. Sorry, goodbye. Now that takes a lot of courage. Remember, lifelong learners, courage. What inspires other people? A high display of courage. It takes a lot of courage to walk away from someone you thought was a friend and you find out they're not. It takes a lot of courage to say to yourself, I'm not going to talk to any more of that particular family member. And I'm not going to explain it to anybody either. Because I don't have time left. Who's the youngest one here? Gee, you all look so nice and young.
I think Vaidehi.
Okay. I don't care. You're pretty young, you know what? But you don't have time left. You don't have, let me see you. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're gorgeous. You're gorgeous and smart, and here you are, and you don't have the time to put up with nonsense, negativity, and people who want to use you without any giving back. Choose people who are reciprocal. You can choose people who are reciprocal. And if you find out they're just doing something, they're giving you a gift, so you'll give something back, that's not a gift. That's somebody trying to use you. So walk away from those kind of people. That doesn't mean that you slam the phone down when they call. It means that you're polite, but you say no when they want something. If you're in a group that doesn't help you, say no and leave the group. Go find a group that's better for you. I have people in my life now that are closer to me than many family members are. It's amazing. And they want to be with me. They don't care that sometimes I talk too much. They don't care that I left a very successful career. They don't ask, boy, were you ever dumb for leaving that career? Look at how hard you have to work now, learning all this new stuff. Nobody says that to me. None of my friends today say that to me. They wish me well. They say, oh, you can't go, can I help? So now I have a new possible friend. Shilpa's my new possible friend. We don't know each other that well, but now today we've gotten to know each other a little bit better, right?
Yes, thank you, Jo. Thank you so much.
Did Shilpa get upset because the Zoom thing didn't work right away? Nah. She didn't get upset.
Yes.
She goes, and she's very pleasant about it. It was very exciting to watch you take care of that. So I think I'll stop talking now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jo, for a wonderful session and actually destiny or inspiration. So I feel that talking with you inspired me, and that it was not destined to listen to you today, but I got inspired by listening to you, and then I created another Zoom ID, and we see now we all are here. So I just never wanted Shireen to miss it. She's joined from Finland, and all these educators from different, parts of the world. You from Chicago and we from India, and Shireen from Finland, and so many. So I'm thankful to you for a wonderful session. On behalf of the International Fellowship of Rotarian Educators, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I expect to call you once again with another topic. So thank you so much, and bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye, everyone. Bye.